So settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. And really try and feel the sensation of the earth. Sounds a little bit cliche, the earth beneath your feet, but this is what's holding you up. And the feet are very, very important, and we often take them for granted. We don't realize how important our feet are until we injure them, injure a toe or something. And it goes all the way up the body. All of a sudden your toes hurting, you're walking differently, then the knee goes and the hip and the so on. So anyway, appreciate your feet. It's Foot Appreciation Day. So shoulders are aligned with the hips and the ears aligned with the shoulders. Sit on your sits bones and lengthen the spine. Imagine the spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And go to the crown of the head and relax your scalp. Release any tension there. Relax the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth, the jaw, the back of the tongue. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. You're going to have your hands comfortably resting in your lap. Notice the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. Be aware of any sounds in your environment, just trying not to run off and investigate. And notice any thoughts that might be arising in the mind, trying to put some space in between those thoughts. And just observe your thoughts with a level of curiosity, objectivity. Notice when there are stories arising or when you're sort of thinking about the future. Sometimes we even create kind of scenarios in our mind. And then we start to believe in them, and things haven't even happened yet. So it's really good to check ourselves if we're running off with some story or other, because we develop emotions. We create, emotions arise around this and can be a little bit distressing. So just be mindful of that. It's always good to know what's going on in the mind. And then it brings up to mind some people of your life, your loved ones, the strangers and the ones we don't like so much, the ones we don't trust. And then remembering that they're all equal, all these sentient beings, these people, they all can change, these relationships can shift and change. All these, despite how you might feel about somebody now, could change tomorrow. And despite how you feel about all of them, they're all the same as you and me. They all want to be happy. They don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for an enlightened mind. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past actions, our past karma. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. We know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva is above the crown of your head, a couple of inches above the crown of your head, maybe, facing the same way as you. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So this is the second part of reliance. So there's two, refuge and developing compassion. So we need to rely upon the beings we have harmed. So bring to mind somebody you may have harmed, and then those who have harmed us. And particularly those who have harmed us, because the harm they've caused us is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So then we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. And so be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is this purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech. All that kind of speech where we're trying to help, but we just end up making a mess. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Jida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anurakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahumpe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahumpe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya Vajrasafa dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you walk into a room and you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, just imagine all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all the attachments, neediness, anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra hum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And now think there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness as you recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabosidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawakama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawakama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahumpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawakama sita me. Sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahumpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawakama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahumpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawakama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahumpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawakama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of our resolve, the fourth and final step in this purification process. And it's really crucial because we need to make a decision to do anything, and particularly to decide that we want to refrain from harming. And so without this, making a decision like this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So Rinpoche used to talk about everything being on the tip of the wishes. So you just decide. And first of all, rejoice in your efforts coming along this evening. And think about something you'd like to work on over the weekend. Maybe you stay with the same thing for the next couple of days. See how that works out. Or not. Anyway, this determination to refrain from harming gives us strength to change, gives us some guardrails as well. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend meditating on emptiness. So he would say, in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. So it's 26. A, E, U, Ao I, O, Ao A, Sito Hri, Jana Murtir, Aham Buddho, Buddhanam Triadava Vatranam, Om Vajra Tikshna, Dukha Cheda, Prajna Jana Murtae, Jana Kaya Vajisavar, Ara Pachinaye Te Nama. And 5, the great Vajradhatu Mandala. And so he is the Blessed One, the Buddha, awakened fully, born of the letter A. He is the letter A, the foremost phoneme, supreme most syllable with meaning great. All right, everyone. Sorry about my Sanskrit pronunciation. Probably not entirely correct. Anyway, lots of love. Have a good weekend. Thank you so much, my hosts, and I will see you all on Monday. Except if some of you are coming, if some of you are registered for the ritual training, I might see you on Sunday at 3:00. And if you're interested to come, contact Vajrapani Institute. So from 3 to 4, I'll be going over the blessing the speech mantras with a little bit of meditation and some of the chants from some of the prayers. So that's what we were learning on the weekend. Okay, everybody. Lots of love and see you all later. Okay, thank you. Bye.